Like private equity. That might have messed up the audio for a second. If I touch my ear pod, it messes it up a little bit. Anyway, private equity structure just relates to collaborations and acquisitions kind of going hand in hand, but at the same time we kind of want to like have a hand in the development of the brand, of the process of any given product, whether it's, and the main groups and industries that we're trying to focus on is like clothing. That's a big collaboration source, which like kind of like Ferrari also. I mean, I guess they could just make this easier, but it's kind of like Ferrari and Supreme, or we'll say Palace and BMW in one brand. Basically, that's what Dinky Tech kind of is in terms of the structure related to collaboration and new product development. And then also LVMH, the group that is different brands. It's filled with different brands. Yeah. So though that's kind of the structure for like fashion, and because like fashion collaborations, you know, like Palace does is, I mean, and music is an interest. It's like, so there's different layers to Dinky Tech. That's part of the point of Dinky Tech, is because it hasn't really existed before. Part of the way that it's talked about is like, you know, film times music, because, you know, and then also like the VC and the film world coming together a little bit also, because a lot of this structure has to do with, you know, filmmaking in of itself, because filmmaking in of itself is like developing a product from scratch. But like with 3D printing coming more and more, and being able to print scalable products, that's what, you know, the anticipation is. It's kind of like being able to collab with a designer of a certain thing, like in a film. Like a film studio collabs with a writer, it collabs with the director, and it makes the product, really. So that's why it's relatable. And then like, you know, jumping into something which is more engineering heavy, engineering based, such as making cars and things, you know, it's relevant because it just is, in terms of engineering and filmmaking. There's also engineering in software, software engineers. So it's like digital and physical products are part of the Dinky Tech wheelhouse. And thinking about naming the private equity company, whether it's Dinky Tech X or Film Times Music might be the name of the private equity company, but or X Dinky Tech actually might be the name of the, or possibly, but either way it might just be Dinky Tech, to be quite honest. So it's just one name and it's fluid, and it also has to do with music collaborations or any collaborations necessarily given, but it's also, you know, trying to take a page from the book of Amazon, where Jeff Bezos has different sections and segments and sectors that he has a CEO of each one, and they're kind of in charge that the collaborations are able to increase in numbers over time. And so, you know, it's kind of like collabs are like acquisitions a little bit in that way, but it's more like collabs obviously offer room for development of certain styles, and then as a result that helps form the brand from the foundational sense, and that we want to do in different ways. And like also you know, in food, as for example, like vertical farming is an innovative field, and like the world just, you know, can always use more love in terms of food and products, and just love in general from brands trying to come through in different ways. So the more collaborations, the better. It's hard to explain at this juncture, but that's the point of this video on a whim, is to try to have, like, you know, energy to be put out there, which is part of why I sit outside to begin with, to do work and think about things and conceptualize and write and such for like future reference, and make this type of video. And why I'm here to begin with is because this energy is what helps to remind that, you know, that exists outside, to remember the energy that is outside, and the things and you know, the places where you know, essentially you're hoping to sort of have a presence of some sort, and therefore, like, well, not a presence, but just a positive, you know, like, in other words, business is a positive entity. Like it's made for growth to exist. So like, you know, if you're out, so in other words, like the yeah, that's the bottom line. I mean, like, so like, therefore, if you're outside, you're part of in the environment where you want the growth to occur, if that makes sense. And that's part of the foundational energy. It's like practicing on the field versus practicing in a bedroom, really. I feel like if you're not outside, it's like if you're in an office, you're like practicing a sport while you're inside of a bedroom. That's kind of what it's like. And it's really interesting that it seems hard to get that across to people in many ways, or many times. I've never even really tried, to be honest. I've just rolled like this for a while because I've always played outside since I was a kid, really. And like, you know, it's just, you know, is what it is. It's just like part of the interest to play, really. It's just like being outside. People are playing right now. I just, you know, for me it's work, because I am alone often, and it's just conceptualizing, trying to build on the brand and concepts of Dinky Tech. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's just, it's kind of like there's not really another choice necessarily, like, to do, to connect in certain ways with you know, energy that relates to developing concepts and new ways of connecting business, you know, business concepts and business and processes for future reference, or to have in mind. It's hard to explain. It's like you have to be around people sometimes, or like just have the experience or exposure to be in an environment that's busy or has energy, so to speak, just to like, to feel the energy. It's hard, it's really, I don't know, it's actually not that hard to explain, but it's hard for people to get. Even though everybody was kids at one point, we all played outside, so it's really exactly the same as that. It should be that simple to understand also. It's just, you know, weird that things had to change in adult land somewhat, at least from my point of view, in an overall sense. So anyways, you know, that's part of the interest of having this brand, having, you know, us as a reminder to play more in life anyways, just in any products and any in any marketing and any sort of messaging, to try to communicate in an external way is to, you know, just reiterate and emphasize to stay playing. all the time until like, you know, until the very end for sure, and making business about that and pursuing things that are most of greatest passion. So to cover it, the main sectors that we're trying to focus on is primarily food. Well, that's maybe not the priority. So clothing and accessories, and like I said, like the combination of the brand Palace and the brand BMW is kind of like how we want to roll, because we wanted to collaborate with different artists and people along the way, and then also, you know, like a film studio on top of that. We're just taking structures from existing companies and putting it in one place, and that's you know, like film studio is the originating interest. So films is in addition to these things, and if you look at Disney, they're part of all these things as well. They obviously have to have manufacturing for all these things, but our cause and our direction as Dinky Tech and a so-called, you know, private equity structure is just different, and it will evolve also, etc. But part of making this video is just to get that aspect, that emphasis out there, and to put it onto one consolidated video for now while we're here, and in hopes that you also appreciate the experience, and hopefully get a chance to watch this video at some time. And I don't know, connecting with people who are like-minded in the short and long term. So hopefully that is good and helpful for that aspect as well. But you know, the other aspect to like collaborations, acquisitions, is another interesting conversation and theory in of itself. Like, you know, if you Google that, the similarity of those two, it's just kind of interesting and kind of cool. But really, I think the film world is one of the only people that foundationally like invent the product, and then they also, you know, market it and distribute it in one go. And that's just unique. Like, usually other products are built by one person and then it's connected with money on the other one, so it's unfamiliarity and the two people don't know each other, so it's a big difference. And it's just, you know, a page from the film world book to be brought into the other side of, you know, everything else, to hopefully make and help business be more playful. It's hard to explain, to connect those dots, but I mean, that's the bottom line, as I said before. So just the mentality, hopefully overall has just hopefully there's better opportunities for overall, you know, business improvement, growth, global ecosystem and economy, opportunities that are just shared more globally, and more people get, you know, happier as a result of expanded distribution opportunities. Thanks again, Dinky Tech, peace.